What is up, Tampa Bay? Happy Tuesday. It is Tampa Talk Live. We are excited to be here with you tonight. Happy Tuesday, y'all. It was actually a really nice day today. I think we're 88. I think it was like 85 today. The wind was blowing. It was really, really nice. So we'll take those days anytime we can get them. That we consider that to be a summer junior day. So that was nice. But good evening. I'm joined by my co-host tonight. We got Miss Stacy Amon in the house. What is up, Stacy?
Good evening, everyone. It was a beautiful day here in Florida. Nice breeze.
Yeah, and it still is.
It's a good day to show some houses. I was down in Parrish, and I was showing a client around with her beautiful little girl. She had a 3-year-old. It's not too often we get the littles looking at houses, so that was cute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. It can be a long day for those little ones, right?
there was a point she had it. We had to take a break and go to the community playground. So it was a good opportunity to check out the nice amenities in the community.
Can understand that. I don't think I liked shopping with my mom ever. So like I don't think I ever grew out of that phase. So shout out to the little one and Kiara for grinding that out. But that's great. But welcome, y'all. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, we welcome you here. We talk all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here, the food, the dining, the outdoors, the beaches, and the sunshine. We also are licensed real estate agents, and we help people just like you buy, sell, and relocate all over the Tampa Bay area. So excited to have that connection with you tonight. We're going to be talking about where the deals are because there are some to be had, which is really cool. And there's been a lot of talk about real estate in the headlines and all over the country, and for lots of reasons. We'll get into some of that. And if this is your first time joining us, we welcome you to the conversation as well. Couple ways you can do that. You, of course, can leave a comment on the description later. Inside of YouTube later, or Facebook or Instagram, or wherever you're watching this from. That's one way. I always respond to any legitimate comments in there. And I want to make sure that I'm clear on what legitimate actually means. If you show up and you're a keyboard cowboy or a keyboard cowgirl, and you've got nothing positive to contribute to the conversation, that will not be one I will be responding to. And if I do, you're probably not going to like what I have to say. So I just tend to not say anything there. But if you have a legitimate question of something that you would love to have answered, don't hesitate to drop it in there. That's actually how we get to a lot of these questions in our live Q&As here. And we welcome you to the conversation here. If you're with us live, you can connect via the chat feature as well. We take questions in real time. The last probably 4 months we've been doing this, it's been awesome. You guys come with so many great questions, and we're happy to make that connection. Shout out to everyone who's watching us over live on Instagram as well. At some day in the future, they'll be able to figure out how to connect Instagram to the rest of it. It's amazing to me that we can stream live into Facebook, but we can't do it in Instagram, which is the same company. So can't win them all, right? One step at a time. But happy to make those connections and answer those questions in real time with y'all. Let's say hello to all of the viewers that are connecting with us in real time right now. We got Mr. Adam. What is up? I'm waiting for the other guy to say hi. There you go. And good evening. And for those of you who have noticed that Miss Marsha Railton is not with us this evening, the lovely and talented, the fabulous, the chosen one, if you will, she is enjoying her vacation. But made mention this morning. She texted me. She's like, I'm gonna miss you guys being live. She's like, have fun. But it's really cool. I'm glad Marsha was able to take some time away and spend it with family. So that's exciting. Vlad, what is up, my brother? Good to see you as well. Staying classy, indeed. We will work on that. Stacy's got that covered. I got work to do on the staying classy thing. Whenever I hear something like stay classy, I immediately think of like Ron Burgundy, like stay classy, San Diego, which is not the classy thing, right? Like it's just cheesy, which I am. I'm full of dad jokes. That's how I roll. Adam says, hit like, y'all. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Yes, please do. I always forget to ask. I know. So bad. Corey's with us tonight. Corey says, hey, y'all. Corey from Columbus tuning in. Adam, Vlad, how's your Tuesday? We're sassy but classy. She's been MIA for the last couple weeks. I love what is happening in this space right now.
I know. I love it too. I
Corey,
love recognizing all the names. It's so fun.
Yeah, we have to ask Corey, were you a school teacher in a former life, and are you taking roll call? That's what I want to know. That's fantastic. Love it. Adam says, hello, Corey. I love that. That's great. Right back at you. Yes, one, block the meanies, laugh out loud. There's only been a few. What most people don't know on YouTube, it does allow you to block people from seeing your, like Facebook or Instagram will. Like you can block people from it. YouTube will allow you to do that too. I have tried very hard not to do that to anyone, just because people have their opinions, and that's fine. And getting different perspectives is, that's what life is all about. I don't have to agree with everybody, but it's when they start getting really, there's been some really interesting things said in those comments. And I think when I look at my channel, I think that there's only been 2 people I've had to block. One of them was this week, by the way, because I was done with all the nonsense. So don't, like Adam says, don't get yourself blocked, y'all. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Dagan, what's up, my man? He was contributing heavily last week, and he's back this week. Happy to see you. That's great. Shout out to Ohio and Michigan and the Midwest and the Northeast playing Florida today. Yeah, right. I think yesterday you got has 90s, and my mother-in-law sent me a text saying you can have your weather back at any time, which made me laugh because y'all don't. This is normal. Like we hit 90 every day. Like, it's totally normal. So
yeah.
We start freaking out when it's not. Like, listen, I know everybody thinks we're crazy, but if it was 80 degrees and dry at this point, you would see people with hoodies on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tell me I'm wrong. Right? Like, especially when you go into restaurants and stuff, like it just, your blood changes, like everything about it changes. So that's real life.
Yeah, I was surprised when we moved here. All the kids, they wear jeans and hoodies to school. And I'm like, how can you do that? But, it's cold inside.
Yep. Like a real Floridian, right? That's crazy talk. Sophia says we have Marcia. Yes, you do. You have kidnapped her.
Hi, Sophia.
Yeah. I am like summertime, no class. I love that. It's great. Diana, focus. Let me see. Diana and I are focused back on West Chase for the location. And because you yelled at me last week, just kidding. But you were right. It's all right, man. One step at a time. Like I was fascinated when Stacey told me where you guys were hanging out. I was like, what in the world is happening over there? She's like, they are in the complete polar opposite of what they said they wanted. All right. So here we are. And you coming back to your senses, which I think makes sense too. You're too spicy. You guys dance, do the whole thing. Like Lithia is cool, but man, that's a long way. Right. Mm-hmm. And I love that area. It's got its own thing. We'll talk a lot about that tonight, y'all. We're going to get into like locations and areas and how the lifestyle lives. There's nothing wrong with any of those places, but like, does it make sense for you? That's always the question that has to be answered when you're trying to figure it out. Dagan's laughing out loud. Love that. It's great. Tulio says, hey guys, happy Tuesday from Connecticut. It's been feeling like Florida the last few days in this heat wave. Yeah, I know you guys got it up there, but the nice thing is your water will actually be halfway warm for once. So you'll be able to enjoy those lakes because those lakes are always cold. I am terrified. We're heading up to Michigan in 2 weeks. We're leaving Thursday and we're heading out of town. We're going to be in Asheville, North Carolina for 5 days. We love Asheville. It's a great respite, in terms of taking time off, going to the mountains, and it's a beautiful community. We're foodies, so you can eat your way through that city and town like nobody's business. And then we're going up all the way up north into Michigan. Like if you look at the mitten, like we're going all the way up here where the lakes barely get above freezing in the summer. I'm kidding. That's tongue in cheek, but it's going to be cold and I'm terrified. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need a coat, Stacey. So pray for me, y'all. I know everybody's so like you're nervous, you're anxious. I might freeze in real time.
Well, you better take every hoodie that you have in your closet.
That's right. Well, the nice thing is I left my coat and my boots at my in-laws, and it's been there for almost 6 years now. So we'll put it back. That's great. At least I still fit. So for those of you wondering, like, what is happening right now, this is what we do. Tampa Talk Live, Q&A. We get into the nitty gritty. We're going to talk about real estate tonight. We're going to talk about where to find the hot deals. We're going to talk about where specific areas live. We're going to show you guys the map. So you're going to see a lot this evening. But we're here for the community. It's been an incredible ride to connect with you guys and really you start to make some friendships online, if you will, and really connect with people. So we're grateful to do that, and we welcome you to come contribute to the conversation as well. Adam says, as much as we love Wesley Chapel, after being there and driving back and forth with my sister-in-laws, we decided back at West Chase, plus closer to salsa dancing and the beach. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And in all fairness, that's what Adam told me when the first time we met. And I think it's awesome that people, want to test and try new things. It's how we ended up where we are, guys. So like, I get it. We thought we were going to live in Dunedin. That's where we wrote offers in Dunedin, and we're like convinced we were going to live there. And then we ended up in Southwest Largo, right across the Indian Rocks Beach Bridge. And we're so grateful that that's where the Lord put us. So it's amazing how things kind of line up and happen for you and not necessarily to you. So glad you came to that recognition, and that feels a lot closer to home for you guys. We'll work on finding that place. That's from Dazed and Confused. Well, all right. Love that. I have another line from that movie that I'm not going to share on here that I really go to all the time as well. So love that. All right. So Sophia says, and we are all fuzzy today. What is up with the camera? Sophia says that I will be in Florida the week of the 4th. Michigan is prepping me for the heat. Yeah, we're swapping spaces. I didn't know that. You coming down to see your family, which is really cool. We got Denise in the house. What is up, Miss Denise?
Hi, Denise.
Good to see your smiling face, of course. For those of you wondering, I'm busy murdering my thirst. So my refrigerator looks like we are homeless right now. And Stacy, like, you know how it is when you go on a vacation, you manage the household accordingly. And I was like, I opened the refrigerator. I'm like, this looks like it did when I was in college.
Like there's nothing to eat.
Condiments. It's got condiments in there and water. Thank goodness. And I'm like, where's the food? She's like, we're leaving in 2 days. I am not going to the grocery store. You're gonna have to self-manage like an adult. I was like, oh, all right. And then she took the kids and went to the beach for 4 hours today. I mean, talk about doing me wrong, y'all. and what was today? Tuesday. They spent 4 hours at the beach on a Tuesday, and it was glorious. My wife came back.
It was a beautiful day to be at the beach.
Was. Yep. Absolutely. Ooh, Charles, that is a good, authentic. All right. Now, Charles, this is where I have to get very specific now. When you say authentic, I need to know what that means to you. Because listen, 50% of my blood is Chicano. I grew up in Southwest Detroit. Authentic to me, right, is 2 tortillas, El Pastor, onions, lime, and some cilantro. That's all you get. I don't know what that means to you. So help me understand. I can tell you the great taco shops in the Tampa Bay area, but I would really like to know if are we talking about El Pastor? What are we talking about here? All right, so let me know so we can wrap our mind around everything. Shout out to Lithia.
Hi, Chris.
Mr. Gantz in the house.
I hope you're all settled in, unpacked.
Yeah. Did you get the water stuff done yet? Let me know, because I spoke to the plumber and he told me what you guys were looking at doing. So I was like, perfect. We're all in the same alignment. We should get a bulk discount. So we're working on it. Denise says that's a street taco. Yes, that's a taco, Denise. I agree. Like, listen, we come from the land of put it in my hand and put it in my mouth. It's not any more complicated than that. Now, I love a fancy taco as much as the next guy, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, if it doesn't taste good in that format, it's not a good taco. You can dress it up with all the other stuff in the world you want. Right? People put like Kraft cheese on. That's not a taco, just so everybody knows. That's Tex-Mex at best. So and yes, I'm judging you for your taco preferences. For anyone wondering what is happening right now, absolutely, that's what's going on right now. Fantastic. Adam says, from what I recall over the last few weeks, 2 of us are from Mass, 1 of us is from Rhode Island on the weekly calls, and I'm from Mass and on the Rhode Island border, and we're heading to Tampa. Wahoo! Absolutely, sir, love it. Charles says, probably mom and pop, not a chain. Okay. Yeah. So it depends on where you're going to be. I'll tell you what, one of my favorite tacos, in the area, which is a local, but they have more than one, is Casitas Taqueria. That's in St. Pete. There's 2 locations in St. Pete. I think there's one in Tampa as well. They do an excellent job. I just took the family to Streetlight Taco, which also it wasn't a true authentic version, but I'm going to be honest with you. I had a smoked brisket taco that was unbelievable. I was not mad about it at all, but I only had one and I was full. So just to give you perspective on that, there's a couple places in Pinellas Park that I can give you some shouts out. What I'll do is I'll put my taco. I need to put a taco hit list up.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'll put one up, dude. Like, that's such a great thing. Charles, thank you for reminding that. I will put my taco hit list in the description of this video, just FYI, guys. So I'll put that up so everybody can kind of like check that out. We haven't eaten everywhere, of course, but we definitely try to get our hands around great tacos, because at the end of the day, tacos are life. Let's just be real.
Yeah, Juan, I need to add that to our recommendations list that I send out when people are coming into town. I don't think I have any taco places on there.
Yeah, he said we're staying in St. Pete. No, my dude, go over to Casitas, and you will have it. They do a really, really nice job. You won't be disappointed over there at all. And get their churros; they're really good too. So not going to be disappointed there. But welcome, y'all. Good evening. And I know we're answering questions about this is Taco Talk Live. I can't even say that in one word. Taco Talk Live. All right. So it has been a whirlwind the last few weeks of getting everything together here prior to the vacation. I just want to cover a few things with you guys in real time, y'all, in real time. So next Tuesday is that the Tuesday prior to the 4th? No, the 3rd, we will not have a live at all for sure. No, we already said that. 2nd, whatever that Tuesday is prior to the holiday, the 2nd. Next Tuesday is what date, Stacy?
The 22nd, maybe?
The 22nd. We may not have one that night either. That is TBD. I just want to keep you guys in the mix. You'll see it go live. If we're here, we're here. If we're not, we're not. We'll let the community know through a post there. And then the following week, like I said, that's the holiday. The following week after that, Stacy's going to try to make a go of this with her and Marcia. So we'll be talking to you guys about that. Stay tuned and take it easy on these ladies. You know, the technology we use here, while I wouldn't say like you gotta have a rocket science degree to make it happen, it can be intimidating. You know what I mean? So like, just be gentle and kind, and these ladies will take great care of you. They're excited to make that a reality. So, yeah, not collecting that burger. Absolutely. When I get back, Chris says we're moved in now. It's time to collect on that burger. I will buy you that burger when we get back from vacation. There is not going to be an argument for me on that. And for those of you who don't know, we're talking about Engine 9 in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is unbelievable. That place, if you go have a hamburger there, you need a wheelbarrow, a scooter, or a wheelchair when you leave, because it will put a hurting on you, man. Like, they do not cheat you out of anything over there. So it's not disappointing at all. But let's get into some real estate talk here briefly, Stacy. So I have spent the last 2.5 weeks documenting a lot of the new communities that are breaking ground or starting to break ground up in that northern territory up there. Zephyr Hills and Wesley Chapel. Really getting in the weeds a little bit. This coming Saturday, the video that we're releasing is for Two Rivers, which is a really new community. It is probably only 10% of the way built, maybe. A lot to come out there, including a golf course. I was going through all the amenities highlights today. They're going to have a fine dining restaurant on site in there. Is like a whole lot happening, but I'm intrigued. And when I got out there, man, there's still so much space. They were just breaking ground. D.R. Horton and Lennar both have properties out there that are, they call them villages, the neighborhoods, just so you know. Not the villages up in the Ocala area with loofah sponges. Not that one. All right, so I'm talking about neighborhoods. They refer to them as village. It's very much like Lakewood Ranch in that respect, right? So they got the two communities out there. D.R. Horton said that they're about 50% of the way through, already sold through. And then, and the Lennar neighborhood was 60% of the way sold through. So quite a bit. The only other builder that actually had any structures upright was Pulte, and they had 6 homes out there. And I'm not sure if they were actually the models or if they were units they were already pre-constructing for buyers, because I'm pretty sure you can't purchase yet. So I'm guessing they were models, but that was it. And they were putting in infrastructure and foundational stuff for the actual main clubhouse over there south of 56. I did get information that they're going to be building a Publix right there at Two Rivers Boulevard and 56. So, and it's supposed to be a larger version of Publix, which is this same model that they have in Wesley Chapel with the you can do the drink while you shop, or they'll pour wine or beer for you, and like you can meander around the store. I don't know that that's a good situation. I don't know how I feel about that yet. Did you go shopping there yet? Did you try that experience?
No, I haven't. But I would be more excited about like the smoothie bar and like all the grab and go kind of options there.
That makes sense. I don't want to be in a grocery store for 1/2 second longer than I have to be. So to me, I just couldn't understand how that works out. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I get it. That's going to be for some people. You got really dark, by the way. That's definitely going to be for some people and not for everyone else. So just keeping that, but it is going to be there. There is other commercial space that is going to pop up over there. They plan on having quite a few homes in total. Let me go back to the number over there, because I was like, holy cow, it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that neighborhood. And just like you said, there's nothing really out there right now, but it is to go out there and see just all them developing the land. It's like acres and acres and acres. It's just going to be amazing.
It's crazy. One of the things I did notice was that they're making a concerted effort and try to keep the community as natural feeling as possible. Okay, so like that's the big thing I want to start with. I'm going to show you guys here. Let me zoom in on the map so everybody can kind of get a handle. Just really quickly looking at Tampa Bay here. Here's downtown Tampa. I looked at 5 o'clock. The drive time from Two Rivers to downtown was only 35 minutes. It was not a big deal, which is really nice. But you come right down 301, and then you can pop over to downtown, which is nice. It was 20 minutes to Epperson Lagoon. So if that's something that someone is interested in doing rather than driving all the way over to the beach, you can do that as well. And about an hour and 10 to an hour and 15 minutes to Clearwater Beach if you want to go that road. But where we're talking about here is up in the northern suburbs. So technically it's the northeast corridor there of Hillsborough County, literally, and Pasco County on the border. So where they're building right now is east of I-75. For those of you guys that don't know, this is the highway that goes from Miami all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie in Michigan. And as you travel across State Road 56, this is where they're currently building. So this is the corner of Morris Bridge Road between 301 Morris Bridge and 56. Now, the current the smallest portion of this development is happening on these northern suburbs. But what I thought was really cool when I was reading the story of this land, Stacy, is this community, it's been under the stewardship of one family basically since the 40s, which is fascinating. And it was, quote unquote wasteland. The guy picked it up for 10 cents an acre, and the attorney that did the transaction told him he could have got it for a nickel. That's how much they thought of this land. And they ended up working, cultivating the soil, making it into a calf farm. They acquired more land here, and there is a crystal spring here, which they actually bottle water out of. Like some pretty cool stuff when you really start to think of what was happening over here. And I know I'm waxing a little bit poetic. And guys, on Saturday's video, you'll see the whole story there. And I went through the exact timeline of how it was all bought out. But the thing I found fascinating is while that's happening and you're looking at this community like, okay, cool, what's happening here? It's the maps never do it justice, right? Because let me get to a good point. This looks like it's a small area, but that's probably about 3.5 miles. That's not small from Morris Bridge Road to 301. And then underneath that, basically all of this is going to be this community. And that's fascinating. There'll be another road through the middle of here. Down here is going to be an 18-hole golf course with a private club. Like, y'all, this is going to be a really, really nice community. This is going to be in Hillsborough County, which is where Tampa is. So to the south here. And then to the north side here is all still in Pasco County. So if you just kind of look at that, and I don't have a pen, so forgive me. This can be really bad. But Pasco to the north. Oh, God, that's so bad. Pasco to the north and Hillsborough to the south, which is just, it's really cool. Now, one of the community centers out there had a lagoon pool in it with slides. They had a lap pool in there. They also had an event lawn, pickleball, tennis, a gym, a clubhouse. Stacy, there was so much stuff on that just one of the amenity centers. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy when I was going through that whole list. And just really digging into that. So pretty fascinating stuff to like look through it and what's happening out there. We'll see. It's going to be a lot of time. What they're talking about being done is not until 2026. And based upon looking at it now, it's going to be longer than that. So it might even take all the way up to 2027. We all know how construction goes. Whatever they tell you, add another 30% at least and another 30% to your budget, and you're probably going to be closer to what reality is. But interesting things out there. Now, the one thing is the schools, like the plans for schools, the development, the building out there, something to take note of. But also that's really close to downtown. Well, what will be downtown Wesley Chapel, which is happening right here. It is a 10-minute drive from Avalon Park Boulevard to Two Rivers currently. So if you're interested in a more serene, and the thing I will say is this, I was really happy to see the amount of old growth trees. They kept so much water, like there's so much preservation that's taking place out there. And that was the thing that I was really happy to see, even though there's going to be 6,500 homes in that community. So some pretty unique stuff coming there. I thought it was great. That the community centers specifically, Stacy, will be attached to the community you live in. So there are going to be some gated communities out there. The Tamarac's going to be gated, I believe. And then what was the other one? The Riles Field. Those two will be gated communities. And they will have access to that, the big amenity center there. And then the other communities have their own pools. So it's not like you don't have one. They all have access to that. Now, here's what was cool. I called D.R. Horton today. Their HOA fees for that community is $16.16 a month. Super cheap. And their CDD fees started at $17.49 and went as high as $2,100, 21 and some change based upon the floors. And Lennar was similar to their floor, the floor plan. I looked at their biggest model, which was the Trenton model. I think that their CDD for that was like $2,300 or $2,400 when I was out there. Got more details on that stuff, but really cool community, definitely worth checking out. And again, how much it felt tied into the community, I thought was great, because there's, to be honest with you guys, I'm tired of seeing people clear cut communities and pop up a palm tree and be like, oh, check it out. Because it just doesn't feel good. I like when things are tied into the community. So there's over 1,000 acres of trails here, woods, wetlands, like they've got all the things happening out here. So if you're interested more on this community, reach out to me or Stacy. Two Rivers, it's beautiful. It's got a long way to go, but some people like to be in communities early. So that's why we want to bring it up to you, because this is one of those opportunities to kind of jump in early. But I thought it was worth checking out. Again, it's still very in the early processes, but worth checking out. This was that clubhouse, Stacy.
So like each village is going to have its own little like pool and clubhouse, and then there's going to be a huge clubhouse for everyone.
At least one. The golf club is going to be private, so that's going to be a whole nother situation down there. But the landings, which is what this one is here, and I know it's hard to see on the renderings, guys, but the landings here is that's for Tamarack, which is the Tamaracks, Ryle Fields, Fairwoods, Hammock, and Delisle, and Shortgrass. So basically everyone other than Lennar, Casa Fresca, and DR Horton. And Casa Fresca is scheduled to join the party at some point, FYI. All right, so like they're coming at some point too, but basically that mid-tier price point and up, semi-custom is what I'd say. Semi-custom and up is probably going to get you into this community center versus the one that's at DR Horton and Lennar. They had I was there. Their pool was nice.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't anything to shake a stick at. It just didn't have this. Right. Yeah. Yeah, well, the Lennar pool was big. They had cabanas there. It had a clubhouse, and then they had a tot lot next to it, and it attached directly to the paved trails behind. I'm sorry, the cleared trails behind it. They weren't paved, so they were there, but it didn't have the lagoon style pool and the lap pool and those types of things too. But more to come, guys, as they dig into this thing. I'll keep bringing you more info on this, but I wanted to share this with the community because this is one of those places, like I said, if you're interested in getting in early, this is going to be the spot. You know, some of the things to take note of, just from a drive time. Let me pull it up right now and go back over the map. If we go from like, say, let's do to Tampa. 33 minutes to downtown right now, just pretty good. It was 40 to 45 minutes to TPA. The airport, for those of you wondering, is right here, so just a little bit west of that. It was 30 minutes to Busch Gardens, 20 minutes to Epperson, and 20 minutes to Costco, which is the important thing to know.
Yeah, so is it taking you up 56 to 75, or are you going up Morris Bridge Road? Like, I'm curious.
It's got both options. It's taking up 301.
301.
Yeah, so right here.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the other option is coming up 579 is how they've got. There's two options here. So that is a little bit, you do get some options, which is really cool to kind of work through. But cool community. I wanted to bring you guys, just kind of focus on that a little bit. Fair deals out there to be had right now. People always ask about taxes. It's funny. I was having a conversation with the sales team out there, and I was like, yeah, right about 1.6%, right? And they weren't sure. Then they went and pulled a new purchase that they were about to sell that property, and it was dead on 1.6% of the taxes. So,
okay, I'm not sure if anyone can hear me. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. For the first time ever, we had a technical error with the streaming service. But hey, we're back. Welcome. That's real-time television right there. That's how it goes down.
So you were saying 1.6% for taxes, but then you do have to add the CDD to that, right?
Yeah, the CDD on top of that. So just be mindful of that, y'all. That was definitely the price point they came in at. So I think the price of that property was like $540 or $580 or something like that. It was a 3,300 square foot 5-bedroom house. It was huge. But between the taxes and the CDD, you were a little over 10 grand. So that's a big number, but just keep that in mind if you're thinking about that. But 1.6%, that seems to be getting you pretty close to what the taxes are shaking out at in Pasco County for new construction right now. What I mean by that is purchase price, multiply that times 1.6, and that's going to get you pretty close if you're trying to estimate taxes. And then whatever the CDD fee is on top of that, make sure you add that. That's going to be annual. You only pay that one time, and it comes along with your tax bill. So that's why for us, we would just put them together. I wouldn't look at it any other way than that's and if you got a mortgage, it's a monthly number. And then if you got an HOA, you need to add it to that also. So just keep that in mind with all those beautiful amenities. You definitely have to pay the piper, so to speak, in terms of maintenance and upkeep and just keeping all that stuff together. But cool community, Two Rivers. For those of you guys wondered, full video coming this Saturday. Make sure you check that out. Share it with anybody who's maybe considering moving to the area. Happy to get into that. All right, we had some more questions pop on, Stacy, while we were chatting it up here. Let me see here. Charles says, we took your recommendations and went to engine. My man, how did you survive is what I want to. You're here, so you made it. I'd love to know what you had and what your experience was, because man, we love that place. It's so good. And hopefully you had the honey sriracha wings like we talk about all the time too, because it does not disappoint. Mr. Jenkins says, can you touch on school choice? I've also heard that the state will give up to $8K towards private schools of your choice. Any truth to that? Ooh, this is a great question, Stacy.
Yeah. So school choice, you do have to be here. Well, I guess it depends on the county. I know Pasco County opens up school choice in the month of January. So we have probably 20 different programs that you can choose from. Some of them you have to qualify for. Like your student may have to get teacher recommendations, write an essay, that kind of thing. Other things are other programs. It's just an application, and they take till they're full. So that's a great option. We took advantage of school choice, and it was amazing for my son. He did very well. And for private schools, I'm not sure about that. Do you know about that, Juan?
There is a tax credit that is associated with it. We homeschool, so we don't qualify for that, Brian. But there is a tax credit to the family, and I'm not exactly sure how that works yet. I will dig in and do some more homework on that, but I know that there is at least a 4,000, and I think he's right. There is some sort. I don't know what the qualifications are for it. Typically, you have to spend X amount of dollars in tuition. There's some caveats to go along, so I don't want to misspeak on that. School choice in Hillsborough, you have that as well. I don't believe that magnet schools or STEM schools or any of the career technical schools qualify. So there is some specificity around that, but the general public schools, I think, all qualify for that. So just depends on what community you're going to live in. That's a great question, man. There's a lot more to Florida education than people think. There's a college savings program here, which there are in a lot of states, but you can get free education for your kids. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Stacy, can you touch on that a little bit? Because I know you've dug into those programs before.
Yeah. So for it's called Bright Future Scholarship. So if your child graduates from a Florida school, public school, I think they also have a program for homeschooling. But you have to have a certain GPA, you have to have like 100 volunteer hours, and you have to score a certain score on the SAT or ACT. But if your child meets those qualifications, then your tuition for a state college for 4 years is paid for 100%. That doesn't pay for housing, but it pays for the tuition.
That's
and
awesome.
A lot of private schools, if you decide to go private, they will match it. So it won't pay for your whole tuition, but they would at least match the Bright Future Scholarship. So it's a huge, huge plus.
Yep. And there is I'm putting two things in the chat for you, Brian, and for anybody else who's interested in knowing about this. I just put in the link to the Bright Futures. That is what you see up top. Sorry, I didn't label that accordingly. The Bright Futures, and now I'm putting in the Florida Department of Education. It's going to say FDE, and in that you will find the information on the $8,000 voucher. So it's saying that is a real thing. Again, I just can't speak to it. We don't use it, and I haven't had a client tell me about it yet. That they've used it. So I'm always apprehensive just to share saying that things are good or aren't without doing some research on it first. But great question, and thank you for bringing it. And again, those links are in the chat right now in real time, and we'll make sure that they go live later after the live stream as well. Cool. And that's my dog, Stella, for those of you who are wondering. She's a 93-pound red Doberman baby who loves to bark right outside the window when we're on live with you guys. What is up, my man? Does Land O'Lakes still have a better rated school than Wesley Chapel at the current moment? Elementary or high school? Looking to move to the suburb of Tampa, preferably the northeast side. It totally depends on which school it is. Mm-hmm. The high school in Land O'Lakes, I think, is still rated a little bit better than Wiregrass, but The elementary, it depends on what phase you're in. That's Florida in a nutshell, man. Like you can move into a community that has a really good rated elementary school, and then have not the greatest high school. But in what we've been seeing is the quality of the education it's still continuing to raise, which is great. Again, this is going to be school to school, area to area. So just hear me out loud. I homeschool, y'all. So you know, when we get into these conversations, I don't want anybody to take my word as gospel when we're talking about education. You need to do diligence. What's going on with your children? What is the goal, right? And I'm gonna get off in the weeds here a little bit, but hear me out. If the goal is just to get the kid through, you can get that done anywhere, right? The United States is happy to punch the button and get people through the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the focus for your children, right? Like, is it just to be the best at passing tests? I don't know, guys. I'm asking questions out loud because this is the thing that I often I ask parents, and sometimes they don't have answers for. So I'm sure you've already thought through this, but like, what are you trying to accomplish, right? Because there are STEM schools and STEAM schools and magnet schools and all the things in all of our counties that can get you to the best type of training and education. And then outside of that, y'all, like, we live in the United States of America, and everything in the world, information is no longer the barrier of entry for people, right? Between ChatGPT and tutors, like, we can get our kids trained by the best on the planet. There really isn't an excuse not to have a good education for your children. And please don't take this as judgment, as I'm just sharing, because we've gone an alternative route. And what that did is forced us to do more research on other things. And while I appreciate the public school system, I am a product of it first and foremost. And I also went to school to be an educator. I want to share transparently, right? Because it's like, I always like to just let people know where I stand and where I am. That way you can take what I say and either with a giant Himalayan grain of salt, or hopefully it encourages you to get a little bit more curious about what other options are out there. Because I'm just going to be honest, guys, if our kids were in public schools, I wouldn't settle for one. That wouldn't be the way that I would approach it. But that's just me. It doesn't make me right. You know what I mean? But I might say, okay, we're going to move to this area. We're going to take advantage of this school. But for this period of education, I want to put them here. And maybe later we move them over here. Because again, having school of choice, that is a huge win, y'all. Like, I grew up in an area where the zip code was where you got to go, period. Right? There was no getting around it. If you wanted something different, it was a private education only at a very large expense, which my families could not do. So that is something I think that is incredible when it comes to our state here. And again, we just ranked as the number one school for education in the country. And I know people are like losing their minds. Go look it up. Don't take my word for it. I've already included the article on videos. It's there. Now, it was not for primary. It was for secondary education and collegiate. So that's where it ranked the highest. And we were like 10th in those primary education worlds. So like, do what it is. Do I think that there's room to grow? Always. Always, always, always. I don't think that we're ever done cooking, so to speak, right? So forgive the tangent here, y'all. I just like, this is something that I'm very passionate about. The pile of books you see behind me is not for show. You know, I've got a library and I'm proud of it. And what I know is there are so many people that have contributed to the successes I've had in my life. And the people around me. So be passionate about not only your education, your children's, but like, y'all don't have to settle. You don't have to settle for anything. So again, tangent, I know, but I am passionate about it. So great question is, and thank you for allowing me to just speak to this for a second. So lots of good opportunities, and there are probably schools that you're going to wish were probably doing better too. That's just the reality of the United States, right? Unless you're writing those big checks. Go ahead, Stacy.
I was just going to say, and you may want to look, like, if one school is rating, getting higher ratings, looking at why, because I know like Land O'Lakes, for example, has some really great magnet programs in that school. So that would push their scores up for sure.
Yep.
People had to apply into that. It's not like every child has that same opportunity there.
Right. Good question though, man. Good question. All right, Stacy. This one's for you for sure.
Who lives near the train tracks. I don't know. Did you hear a train? I didn't hear a train.
No one heard that. No one heard that. Absolutely.
You live here long enough, you don't even hear it.
For sure. All right. Guess who's back?
Sassy,
back again.
Sassy.
Yeah.
You have been missed dearly.
I don't know if you've been rewatching the episodes here, but they literally put you on roll call today. They're like, "Where's Sassy but class?" Not us, because we're gonna call that out, but like not us, the other audience members. So we are happy. We are happy you're back. Congratulations. I love that. She says, Stacy, looking lovely per usual. How kind.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very sweet.
How kind. That is awesome. I love that. All right, let me see here. Two Rivers was merely a thought when I left in 2017. It's come a long way, but the trails out that way are awesome. Yeah, I like I said, I was very impressed. I wasn't flying a drone, but if I was flying a drone, I did see some really cool things. Just so you guys know, I saw a lot of really cool stuff. It was great to get that bird's eye view of seeing from the top down what was happening out there from the community. That's what I said, Stacey. I was really impressed at the amount. It reminded me very much of Odessa, and I got like Starkey Ranch kind of vibes, like where it's like, oh, this feels like it's part of nature and not just thrown on top of it. Like I said, to me, it feels like they take a scalpel, clear cut everything, and then like, oh, look, I put a palm tree in your front yard. They're like, this is beautiful out here. It's very natural. Like, no, that's not. Not all the communities are like that, but listen, y'all, it's more than I feel like I have to admit to, right? Like that kind of thing. And it's different for some people don't like that. Some people don't want old growth oak trees and right. the allergens that come along with that. And I get it. You know what I mean? Like I totally get it. But for me personally, I like when it feels like a house is part of nature, like it belongs there in some way, shape, or form. It wasn't just put there. So that's a personal thing. I know tangent. I want to go on tangent again as usual. So if y'all know me, that's the way we go. All right. Nice subdivision going into Keystone off of Patterson Road. Big lots, big homes. Taylor Morrison. I supplied the underground utilities for it. That's awesome. Thanks, Dagan. Thanks for letting me know. So are you an electrician by trade, man? Keep it. Let us know. That's fantastic. Adam says Sassy is in the house. I love that. That's so good, man. Oh, I love that we're building a community here. This is so much fun. We got Miss Cindy Uriona out in Salt Lake City. Good evening, Cindy. She's on Instagram. Happy to connect with you over there as well. So that's awesome. And we're just talking a little bit new communities. We did get into schools. I put the links to both Hillsborough and Pasco County. I'm sorry, Hillsborough and the Bright Futures Scholarship Program in the chat of this video, so you guys can check that out there. Brian says, hey, thanks. Let me see here. Cobra Stacker says, hey, guys, I've got flights booked from the UK for the 2nd. Would like to link up and have a chat with some meetings and the immigration attorneys as well. What is up, Cobra Stacker? Well, the best way for you to do that is to lock down a time with us. Do me a favor. The contact information is in the description. Stacy, can you put that in the chat as well? So he can lock that down. Put our email in there, which is info@truelivinggroup.com. And then we'll work in reverse on getting everything set up from that point. So we can work through that dig. And just, I'm sorry, Cobra Stacker, be mindful that is the U.S. holiday. This young lady sitting in front of you and the team will be off on that day. We're not forcing them to go out and show any homes on that day. They're going to be spending time with their family, but would love to connect outside of that. So happy to do it. Nope, you gave that to me. Oh, yeah, you got to send it to me. I just realized you don't have.
Oh, sorry. Did I send private?
All good. All good. I'll put it in the comments now. All right. Our email is in the chat. That way you guys have it. You need it. You got it. All right. We're going to leave off. Holy cow. So many conversations in here. Got that. UK. Bear with me, guys. We're just catching up. Adam says, okay. What does Dagan says? 1210 pays 75% and 1340 pays 100%. What am I missing? Is there another part? Did I miss something?
There's a few messages in between there.
Yeah, I totally missed something on that. Adam says the best sinkhole map. Oh, what did I do with that? I'm gonna track it down in real time. Hold on. There was a sinkhole that came in last week in Pasco County. Let me pull this up. Sinkhole map. Real time, y'all. Real time.
We're just getting it all tonight. Losing connection, dogs barking.
I'm trying to find this map because I did this. I have it in one of the videos that we did like 3 weeks ago, but I can't remember where the because it's a public website you guys can go check out. Pasco County Appraisers Sinkhole map. Here you go. You guys can see it in real time. Oh, this is not the one. I'll find it. It was one for the entire state. So bear with me, guys. I was trying to track that down. There was a sinkhole that opened up last week, and I'm trying to find that too, Stacy, because it was a big one. It wasn't a small one. This is the thing when people are like terrified of moving to Florida, and I get it.
Where was it at?
I think it was in Spring Hill.
Oh.
I'm looking for it right now. Sinkhole last week news. Rain breaks.
Well, did it make national news?
No, it's because we're not the only ones. 9 hours ago, there was one that busted open in Los Angeles too, but nobody ever says anything bad about LA outside of the homeless. So it's just Florida. Everybody picks on Florida all the time. I wasn't even born and raised here, but I'm offended by it. All right, check it out. Is this? Yeah, 1 day ago. I'm gonna pull it up. It was in WikiWatchy, so bear with me, guys. I know we're messing around here trying to get it pulled up. I can't play the actual sound, otherwise they'll flag it and shut the video down. But I can show you the size of the sinkhole. So let me kill that. Massive hole opens up in woman's backyard. Dun dun dun. It was in WikiWatchy. It happened with all the rain, and we talked a little bit about this in the videos that we do because people see this stuff and they're terrified. Listen, y'all, if that opened up in my backyard, my wife would be freaking out. No word of a lie. So we talked about this before, but I want to talk about why. Florida is built on a bed of limestone. All right. So now the thing is, limestone is porous and it erodes. So what can happen is as the aquifers underneath you start to dry up or water is running through it at a faster pace, it can erode the limestone. And what happens is you will have the earth that collapses on top of it. That thing is like 50 feet deep. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Oh, no one's moving here now. You're welcome, guys. The truth shall be told on Living in Tampa Live.
Do you think there were signs?
What's that?
I guess that's pretty far away from her house, but if it was closer,
close enough.
Cracks in the foundation.
There can be some of this. I'm not going to get into being a geological expert on this channel, just so everybody knows right now. Not even to go down that rabbit hole. But there's a really cool website, and I will track that down. I'll put that in the description as well. That shows the sinkhole maps in Florida, and it was great. And it shows it's so crazy, Stacy. Once you get down to Sarasota County, they basically they're not present anymore. It's so fascinating. Yeah, it's northern Pasco, Orlando. Most people don't associate Orlando with it either, but it's heavy in Orlando. And most of that forest and swamp area through the central part of the state and on that northwest side of the coast as well. A little bit in Pinellas County too, but majority of that takes place from Pasco, the northern Pasco County and above. That's where it is. And I'm going crazy that I can't find this map because it was such a good map. I was when I found it, I was couldn't believe it. How good of a job it did. But anyways, sharing the real life with you guys. Well, welcome to the conversation. All right, Corey says, let's do this. Have you thought about a monthly meet and greet for all of us who have relocated and don't have a social social circle, maybe a group of folks? Yeah. So we're actually going to host 2 events a year moving forward, Corey, now that you speak about this. So we're planning on doing a beach bash for our clients and for members of our community that we're going to do on an annual basis. That's going to take place next spring, right as the water starts to heat back up. And then we're going to do something in the fall as well. We're not going to do anything in the middle of the heat, just so you know, because doing it outdoors. If we ever do something in the middle of the summer, we're gonna rent a theater or something. That's the only way we're gonna make that happen. But I was thinking that maybe even going to the Snowcat Ridge and do this is a whole nother conversation. But keep in mind, if you're on our email list, you guys will get notification of that. But that is on the plans. We got that coming. All right, so we will plan accordingly. All right, Dagan says hit the bell. Dagan, you're coming on, my man. Like I feel like I need him just sitting next to me. I'll crack a beer and he can just do the thing all night long. I love it. All right, so cool. Let me see that. Let me see here. There are some social groups out there, but they charge an HOA fee. There you go. He says, Uninsky says there are some social groups out there, but they charge an HOA fee. I'm assuming that's tongue in cheek, little satire, but that wouldn't surprise me. All right. Sassy but Classy says, hey, Adam, usually listening in live, but can't always interact because it's during the last few hours of work. We appreciate it either way, Sassy. That's awesome. You're getting shout outs from everywhere. I love it. Right? Sassy but Classy. There she is. I love it. Desiree says, hi, y'all. Sorry I'm late. It is okay, Desiree. We're good. We're good on that one. Happy to do that. Where are we at here? Good evening, Juan and Stacy. Okay, Lobo says, good evening, Juan and Stacy. We loved the Tampa vacay last week and got to meet with Stacy, which was awesome. We really love Tampa and looking forward to working with you guys. We look forward to making that dream a reality for you also. Guys, I love this. All right, Uninsky he's one of those dudes. I think he's been on here before. How are those sales going, big dog? Love this. I'll bite. From what I hear, the market is dead frozen. Stacy, are we having a problem helping people relocate to the area?
I'm busy, y'all. I had 3 families in town last week, and it's been a very busy 6 months for me. Best ever, actually.
Dennis is running around with 3 families right now. Stacy's on vacation, and I've taken almost 200 Zoom calls year to date. So whatever you're hoping to achieve right now is not, you're off base, man. And my prayer is that your heart gets rectified, because this is really a heart issue is what you got going on. So I'll pray for you in real time. So be blessed, brother. Good luck with that. All right. Lobo, we talked to him already. What is up, Lobo? Okay. Water and sewer utilities, water pipe hydrants. Okay, cool. You are making the magic happen. You are the guy that keeps the world from burning down. We appreciate that. That is fantastic. And the water is super important, as everybody knows. That's good. Thank you, guys. I'm here for 2 weeks. Okay, awesome. We have time, and that's good news. We'll make that connection a reality. So email is in there. Love that. Where can I find the articles? Okay, so Janina says, where can I find the article which rates the schools? I'll link some of that stuff in here too. Again, it's community, school to school, and community to community. You're really gonna have to dial down on that. Again, I think my best general recommendation is just try to position yourself to where if you're going to move your kids in schools, that you're in the right county and centrally located based around the schools you're trying to hit. That would be my biggest recommendation for anybody who wants to take advantage of school of choice, because that's going to require you to drive your child to school, right? At some point, you're going to have to get in that mix. So that's the only thing I would say is just be aware of that and how you're trying to work through that. But yeah, we'll share some stuff with that, Janina.
They sometimes offer bus transportation. You just have to be able to take them to, like your local high school. So like if there's a certain program, they'll pick up all the kids in this area and bus them there, but you have to drive them to the school to catch the bus so they can go to their school choice school.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Okay, cool. All right. Adam says, Juan, between delay of you talking and our comments is tough. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, right? There's way more comments, so I'm trying to get to them one at a time. I do a dividend call similar to this, but using the Discord app, there will be a chat live each week. Yes. Thoughts on doing that here. A dividend, or are you talking about the Discord? Let me know on that, Adam. I'm happy to talk tech on the. Let's do that off air. Give us a little bit more insight. But yeah, there's a delay here. That's YouTube. It's just 8 seconds, I think, which is a lot. I had shares a great sinkhole link above. Below my comment okay. So you put the link on there. Awesome. I'll check that out and pull it back up. Where'd it go? we'll get to that. I will circle back around to that. I'm sorry. I'm just going through all the, thank you, buddy, through all the comments there. So we'll circle back around on that. Okay. Sassy Big Class, he says, I'm in California. We get plenty of sinkholes here almost daily. Yes, it can be scary, but Mother Nature is going to do her thing regardless. Amen. That's just the way it works, man. Same thing with hurricanes. If I spent the entire time worrying about the things that potentially would happen, the 22 million people that live here wouldn't. That's just not the way the world works, right? Just like all the comments regarding people leaving the state, we're still netting more people than we are. There are absolutely people moving out of the state, and there are absolutely people moving out of every other state in America too. That's how migration works, right? So those things are all true, right? A matter of is like, what is right for you? That's the biggest thing, man. Like, I hope you guys can hear that through these conversations is like, I don't get on here and tell anybody they should do anything, right? You shouldn't buy a house if it's not the right time or the best thing for you. You should absolutely buy a home if it's the right time and the best thing for you. You should invest in real estate if it's the right time and the best thing for you. If it's not, you should absolutely not do it. There's the caveat. Go about your day. All right. Love that. Dun, 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 dun. Where is it?
I met a guy today. He was moving out of Florida to Michigan. He was going back to Michigan. I was like, what? You are the unicorn for sure.
It's not for everybody. Well, the reality is this is not for everybody. Some people come here thinking that they're not going to get slapped with summer.
Yeah.
Right. They genuinely think like, oh, it's not going to be a big deal. And it's a big deal to them. Right. Other people, it's not a big deal to them. Right. And this is hilarious. Hand me a wrench. I need to block somebody. Yes. It's just part of the deal. Adam says, I agree. Listen, y'all, this is part of life. You know, we can block everybody and I can do it now, but I think it's good just to see how people respond to things sometimes. If it gets profane, I'll remove it. But outside of that, it's not a big deal to me. I'm with Adam and Lobo. All right. Could you provide the most walkable neighborhoods within Tampa Bay area that is affordable under 400K? Those two words don't go in the same sentence. Right. And what do I mean by that? Walkable and under 400 grand. Now, I'll say this. That is partially true and untrue. I know of a property that's going to be for sale in the mid 400s, right by downtown Dunedin, that would be walkable, but it's a 2-bedroom. So to get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like this, a standard size home, an average size home in a walkable distance, you're going to the fringes of St. Pete. I mean, that's probably the only place you can make that happen. And when you say walkable, we need a little bit more clarity on that. I'm judging that based upon Hyde Park Village, Main Street in Dunedin, Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, Florida, and downtown Tampa doesn't even count. There's no single family. Everything's a condo or townhome, and it's going to be hundreds of thousands, 600,000 plus to make that happen. So it's difficult, JW, just heads up on that. There are areas that will get you closer to that. But again, that's a little bit more challenging to have happen. Typically, if you're going to have a walkable downtown and you're within walking distance of that anywhere in the greater Tampa Bay area, you're probably going to be looking at like 600 plus. Is that fair to say, Stacey?
Yeah.
Based upon what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. So good question, man. I'd love to be able to deliver on that. It's just not real. I don't even know if you can do that in like Greenville, South Carolina or anything anymore. So hard to do in the United States, period, but definitely hard to do here in Tampa. So just sharing the honest truth on that. Okay. Dagan says agreed with Lobo. All right, guys, I want to show you guys some quick real estate stats just on what's happening in the marketplace. We're going to go over to Redfin because they're a public source. That's why I always tell people I want to give you guys places where you can go get it so it doesn't feel like it's like gate kept at all. And you can do your own research, man. Do your diligence, think through things. Here we are in the United States. This is a general, year over year is what you're looking at for all home types, including condos. If you're looking for single family homes, my encouragement is to go look at single family homes. It'll give you a better picture of what is happening in the United States. And then what I love about this site is you can put your local area. So going to St. Petersburg as an example, we look at all home types. I want to go to single family homes because Stacy, I had a phone call yesterday where the guy told me, he goes, Juan, I can see that your market's down. And he was looking at St. Pete specifically. And I was like, I didn't say anything. I was just listening to the conversation. Right. And I'm like, can you tell me what makes you think that? And he's like, well, I'm seeing it all over the news. Well, that's weird. That you're seeing it all over the news that the market is down. There are markets that are down. 100%. I want everybody to hear me. There are markets that are down all across the United States and in Tampa. Okay. So I want to give you that perspective in Tampa Bay, but there are also markets where that is not a reality, right? In any way, shape, or form. And here's one of them I want to share with you, right? So like this is real time redfin.com. Go search it yourself. If you look at what's happening in single family homes, so that is not a condo or townhome or a villa. It's a single family detached home in St. Petersburg year over year. It is up 14%. I was like, oh, I'm always doing this homework, like seeing what's going on in the marketplaces. Holy crap. Right. So like, wow, what a huge jump. And then you look over at Clearwater. Watch this. This is always fascinating. This is why I love doing this. So if we go to Clearwater, and there's two different markets in Clearwater. You have Clearwater and Clearwater Beach, but I'm going to show you what's happening in Clearwater. So if we go to single family homes year over year, we're down 3%. Okay. So like you're up 14% in a 25-minute drive. That's how much difference that is happening in those two different marketplaces, which is fascinating. Now, this is the median sales price. Okay. So what does that mean? That means this is the middle of the activity that's taking place over there. Now, if we go to the condo market, this is where all the red signals and crash and like that stuff is real over there. I've been talking to you guys for weeks about the condo market. Now, again, Clearwater is going to prove me wrong right now, but the condo market in Florida in general right now is in rough shape, y'all. Okay. In some areas, it's downright. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. There is a time and place for everything. Condominiums are an interesting thing because of the structural engineering certifications, insurance. There's a lot of factors here. I just want everybody to be aware of this. If you're going to get in the condo market, it can't be speculative. This has to be I have the means to do it and I can afford whatever happens. Just think of it that way. For the next 18 months, the condo market's going to look like this. And I'm just giving you a rough guesstimate of a timeline. So just keep that in mind. But condos are definitely an interesting place to live right now. So I showed you Clearwater, which is down 3% year over year. You know, that's not a whole lot to talk about. It's relatively flat. The 14% increase in St. Pete, though, that's nuts. If we go out to Wesley Chapel as an example, just to show people what's happening out there. Year over year, all home types were up 9.3%. And the single family homes are up 4% year over year. So that's something to keep in mind. It's down from its all-time high, which is December of 23, but low. And, just getting to the point here, we've been talking about this. Real estate has been in a recession. I know the prices haven't shown that, but from a sales volume perspective, meaning the number of homes that have sold, we are at the same level. Actually, we're below the levels that we were at in 2008. That's how few homes are selling in the United States right now. But the challenging part is new listings are starting to go down too. I'm not going to pull out the spreadsheet and go crazy with the data on you guys like I used to, but just know that new listings coming to the market is starting to go down again. Also, it's trending down. It didn't just start. So that's something to be aware of. Active listings is increasing though. So what does that mean, Lon? Well, that means less people are choosing to put their home on the markets, but the homes that are on the market are staying on there for longer. That is the thing to be aware of. But I want to, again, share with you the median days on market. And this is why I like data, right? When people want to come in here and say stuff like this, right? And I'm going to pull up this guy's comment. Some Florida realtors who are content creators are sharing the truth. The market is dead. We just shared with you guys the data of one of the three largest areas in our city and in the greater Tampa Bay area that are selling. All of them are, Clearwater was down 3%, but the other two are positive, almost double digits. So just kind of think through that. Now, what they're correct on is the number of homes that are selling. We've talked about this a lot, right? Going back to 2020, right? July of 19. 2019 was kind of like the last of what we would consider a normal market, right? Rates were relatively stable. Houses weren't selling like crazy, like out of the ordinary. None of that stuff was happening. And if you look at how many homes were selling at that point, single family homes specifically, you can see how high up that number is. Look what we're selling today, right? I mean, they're hardly selling at all. This is the thing. And the reason being, y'all, we've shared this before, people don't want to give up those 2.5% interest rates to 4% interest rates. They don't want to sell those houses. Most people don't recognize that that is a financial asset. That mortgage interest rate is actually an asset, which is crazy to say out loud. I never thought I would say something like that, right? And we can argue it, but the point is, right, with inflation, it's your interest rate. If you have a 2.75, you're beating inflation, which means that you're netting positive on owning that mortgage in terms of borrowed money, which is crazy talk when you think about that, right? So this is why this market is really kind of struggling. People don't want to, and most people can't afford to rebuy what they currently have at today's interest rates. And because of that, they're not moving. And that is the market that we are in for the foreseeable future. We are still behind on homes. In Tampa, we've built more homes than almost anywhere else in the country. We are blessed. If that did not happen, y'all, our home prices would look like the Northeast right now. In the Northeast, New Jersey, we have a lot of friends who sell in New Jersey, Massachusetts, Pittsburgh, heck, even Detroit, where my other part of my team is. We're writing cash offers and getting multiple offers on properties up there because they're not building new homes like they are here in the South. The two biggest areas with the highest increase in inventory, Texas, Florida, and Arizona. Does anybody know where all the home builders reside? Texas, Florida, and Arizona. So that's been a blessing. It's been a blessing, but it does come with its challenges, right? If you're a homeowner who hasn't invested in your home over the last 20 years and you're trying to compete with new homes, you're in trouble. Those homes are going to sit on the market, right, Stacy? Everyone who calls us right now, what are they asking for?
New construction.
New construction. And when they say, I'd be interested in taking a resale, when we show them the actual cost, right, of ownership, or we go through the incentives, they're almost all picking new construction. The only people who usually don't are the ones that want or need the pool right now.
Yeah, or they don't have the time to build.
Yes, or they don't have the time to build. Those are the usual. Now, that's just our clients. There are many, many more. And there are markets within markets, right? So like, again, if I sniff around long enough for you guys, we'll find somebody that's down. If you head further south, like to Cape Coral, they're going way, way up in inventory, right? Way up in inventory. But let's just talk about like where people are moving from really quickly. And this is the thing that people have a hard time seeing. Most people are stuck in our own world. If I only make X amount of money, I can't understand how other people are able to do things. I know those things happen, but for me, I don't see a way to get there. So I always compare what I have versus what somebody else has. And it's hard for me to make that leap, right? It's cognitive bias is what it is. But when you look at this, you look at the Tampa real estate market, right? All homes are up 7.7%. Let's go to single family as an example, 11.5%. Everybody is out here talking about how prices are going down. We're going up, not down. We're almost back to our all-time high in Tampa again. So, dude, while I appreciate you coming on and trying to get everybody excited about it, the numbers don't stack up. And until you can learn how to read data, it's not going to work. And when the numbers go down, I'll tell them the numbers are going down. So you're coming in the wrong yard and trying to pick a fight because it doesn't make sense. But more importantly, let's look at what's happening, right? The number of home sales are down 100%. This is going to be the foreseeable future, y'all. We don't know if the Fed's going to cut rates this year. Maybe if he does a quarter point, it's hardly going to affect your mortgage rates. It might go down a little bit, but man, this is so hard. Stacy, the market has already priced in that quarter point reduction this year. And for anybody who follows money, you know that's true. So what's going to happen? We're going to go from 7.25% to 6.99. That's not a real savings to anybody's pocketbook when the median home is $485,000, as you can see in front of you. And the average home is $600,000. So like, that's not meaningful. So we're going to continue to see lower sales, meaning less homes are going to sell. But I don't know that we're going to see a crash is not on the table if this is the market we're in, right? Will there be corrections and softening? Sure. But there have been people, the content creators you're talking about, and I can take you to their channel right now, who have been telling you not to buy since 2015. And how many, Stacy, we have helped people buy and sell twice during that time period, right? In the tune of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in equity. That is nonsense. Stop talking nonsense. Meanwhile, you're renting and blowing $25,000 a year talking out your behind. So don't do it. Is there a time to rent? Yes. But please don't talk about stuff that you're not qualified to discuss. Doesn't make any sense, because especially not in here, dude. We'll chop it up all day. I'll take you to town. It just doesn't make any sense. We're not doing that. So sorry, guys. I know that I'm getting a little. This is what I do, right? We study reality and we work through it. Will the markets go up forever? No. Has history proven that? Yes. But if you hold on to a real asset like real estate for a 10-year time horizon, you don't know anyone whose life hasn't been changed by doing that. No one. That's how the markets work. So you're welcome on that. All right, let's talk about who's moving where. Sorry, I got tangent on that. I'm heated on this. It just makes me crazy. Has anyone noticed that Florida is still the hottest destination to relocate you on the planet? Right now, where are people moving from in Florida? All right, they're moving from New York. We know that. Washington, D.C. Shout out to Miss Denise. What's up, D.C. in the house? Chicago, Illinois. Stacy, do these sound familiar to you, right? These conversations we're having. Are you not moving people from the Miami area up to Tampa right now? Yes, you are.
I am next week. Yeah,
that's right. Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, they're on the call right now with us, right? So like we know these people are here. Los Angeles. Shout out to Sassy but Classy, right? So Philadelphia, Seattle, San Francisco, and Atlanta. These are the areas coming to. Now, where are people moving out of Tampa and going to, right? Because they are doing that. They are going to Sarasota, which is ironic. They're moving in an hour south. That's what's happening there. Orlando, Hermosa Springs, which is definitely a less expensive area. Ocala, Florida, also less expensive. Asheville, I'm telling you guys right now, we're going to Asheville. And I'll explain why I'm doing this here in a second. Greenville, South Carolina, beautiful area. Jacksonville, Florida, Gainesville, Florida, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. So what I want to show you on this map is a couple things here. When we look at where people are going to, Sarasota is a get to, not a have to, right? What do I mean by that? Stacy, on average, Sarasota is almost $100,000 more to purchase a home there than it is in Tampa, correct?
Correct.
So that's a get to move, not a have to. Orlando is a lateral move. Okay. Mm-hmm. For the most part, our average home sales are going to be relatively the same. Hermosa Springs, my guess is most people that are moving here. And again, I'm speculating. I want everybody to hear this. But in Hermosa Springs, people are moving there for relief, right? Whether it's from traffic, people, or finances, my guess is probably all three, right? That's where people are moving to there. Same thing with Ocala. Ocala is a less expensive area to move to. So that is why we're seeing that. Asheville, North Carolina is definitely not cheaper than Tampa by any stretch of the imagination. That is a get to move, not a have to move. Greenville, South Carolina, I think we're very close in terms of average price point, but my guess is people are moving there because that's mountain area. It's beautiful, nice area. Jacksonville, that is probably a have to move versus a get to move. They're looking for a little less cost of living. It's cheaper to live in Jacksonville. Gainesville, especially. Chattanooga, I know it's cheaper to live there, but it's mountains. They got a lot of cool stuff in Chattanooga. And then Knoxville, Tennessee is probably one of those as well. Just sharing thoughts, right? That there is no data that says I am 100% accurate on any of that. Again, that is speculative, right? Why are people moving out? But the reality is, y'all, if you're on a fixed income living in the state of Florida, our taxes have gone up. Our real estate has increased in value by 83% in a 5-year period. If you are on a fixed income, I can't imagine what that would do to you. Right, Stacy? The people who are moving out, like they can't afford their taxes anymore, their HOAs, and like they just have to make decisions about what to do. And that really does bum me out. I'm not someone who wants to see people get forced out of their home. People choose to also, but this is just the reality of inflation. Inflation is the most insidious hidden tax in the entire world. And we're not hiding it anymore. It's out in plain. Everybody's feeling it, right? So just kind of walking through it. All right. I'm going to catch up on some of these comments, y'all. and questions here as we went through. Forgive me for getting a little bit in the weeds there, but I think it's important to kind of go through some of that stuff. All right. Desi says, I just noticed most of the builders are building houses with 3 bedrooms too anymore. Are there any builders who build smaller houses for empty nesters? We have seen some 2-bedroom, but it's usually a villa. Single family homes, no, we're seeing villas or carriage homes. There are very few 2-bedroom houses. It's just not economical for the builders, unfortunately. It just costs them too much money to build a house, so they're doing that.
Yeah, and most people are, working from home now, so they're needing that extra bedroom or a flex space. Like, I think everyone I talk to, if they're looking for a 3-bedroom, they need a flex space with it.
Yep. Absolutely. So great question. Denise says, please block. I'm using nothing but nasty comments there. It's okay. I'm good. You boy, I can handle myself, so I'm fine. If it comes to, again, inappropriate, I'll remove it. I got no problem doing that. All right. He says, can you touch on, Dagan says, can you touch on the current condo assessment that's happening statewide, declines disclosures, etc.? Yeah, we've covered this a few times, but there is an engineering recertification that is now required by the state. The governor signed a bill that has forced that. And if a condo complex is 3 stories or more and is 30 years or older, it must have a structural recertification done. And those are bringing hefty price tags to get rectified and fixed. Because as you guys know, once you build a giant structure like that, it is not easy to modify. It costs lots and lots of money. So homeowners, condo owners are getting huge assessments handed to them. I mean, we've heard stuff as high as $100,000. We see a lot of like $15,000 to $35,000. But that's one thing. And then they also have to have their reserve funds at 100%. Okay, so that is another big kicker because condos were allowed to run around with underfunded reserve funds. And reserve funds are the funds that they put in a bank account in escrow in case something happens, in case of emergency, or when the roofs have to be replaced, right? Air conditioners have to be replaced. And a lot of these condo associations have voted to keep those costs low or their HOAs low and underfund their escrow accounts. And now they're being required to fill them up. And that is supposed to be done by the end of the year. We'll see. There's a lot to be in play there. So unless you have the cash to replace the thing, Dagan, I wouldn't play in that world. Right? There'll be a good day. Like trust me, in the next, like I said, 18 months, I'll be looking to purchase condos because they're going to be the cheapest they're ever going to be. Because here's the one thing I know. God ain't making more oceanfront property or Gulffront property. And at some point, people ain't going to care because that's their dream. And I'm going to get in on that action, just letting you know right now, because that's how I'm going to get on the water, y'all. That's going to be the best time to do it. So I'll be watching out and I'll deal with the circumstances and repercussion as they come along. So I'm here for it. True. Already expecting 2 rate cuts, December. Yeah, exactly. I agree. We may only get one. I don't know how I feel about that yet. We'll see as the data keeps coming along, but great questions. Same people saying the same stuff about stock market. The last year is going to crash. You listen to them, you missed big. Yeah, you did. Big facts, he says. Denise says, get them on. Boston House over here. Corey says, learned a lesson from my first boss. I don't care what you think. I only care what you know. Attaboy wants to spit the facts. I wasn't trying to rally the troops, but I appreciate y'all. That's good. All right. And then one says, hi, Juan and ladies. Have y'all had your AC checked this year? If so, how much does it cost plus any? Ooh, that's a good question, Paul. What is your Stacy? Did you do a what do they call it?
Maintenance.
Yeah, but there's something a PM, preventative maintenance. Sorry, I used to be in the restaurant world. That's what we called it, a PM. Did you do a PM this year?
I don't think we did, but we did just buy new AC units. So I should probably be asking my husband if we purchased the preventative camera. Before, on a Saturday or Sunday, the AC stops working and we're all dying.
Yep. I paid $200 for my service call. That's what I paid for them to show up and do all the cleaning. They did the coils on the unit and all that other stuff. So that's what I paid, Paul. I don't know what if you guys want to share that, please feel that free to put that in the description or the comments later. We'd love to hear that. All right, Charlotte is heating up. What's up, Dave? And we were just talking to clients here that were considering relocating to Charlotte. They're undecided as of yet, but they were talking about that as well. So, Dagan, we got 2 really good agents up in Charlotte that we relocate clients back and forth with. Same thing in Charlotte. All the area, the map I showed you guys earlier, we have teams in all those places where we connect people to. So it's been really cool to kind of do the back and forth thing. Desi says, thanks, Stacy. I work from home. Didn't think about the flex space. I was working 2nd bedroom for my office. There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Are there new laws going into effect regarding HOAs? Oh, there are. I just started to read this, but here's what I know. They can no longer tell you where to park. And that is pretty, really? I know. No. And I want to get in. I'm going to get into this. I'll try to get you, Stacy. I'll try to get you as much info as I can on this. But you also are allowed to park your work vehicle in your driveway. Yep, and that means anything. So if you're a plumber and you got your vehicle wrapped with Joe's Plumbing, you can park your vehicle in there as long as it's not as a commercial vehicle. And here's what the state of Florida categorizes as a commercial vehicle: 3 axles.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's going to be
a big issue for people.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of upset Karens.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of people who love to keep people in check about not having commercial vehicles and like all kinds of stuff. So I'm really intrigued. That's a great question, Desiree. We will do more homework on that. But the news just got signed. I don't like to just be speculative talking about stuff. So we'll dig into it. Jazz says, Tracy, that's Stacy. Nice. I love it. All right. Marcia was getting the comments last week. This week, Stacy's in the hot seat. Where are what y'all are giving me a complex? Kidding. I'm just kidding. Please don't take that any other way than that. What apartments do you recommend, Michael? I don't know anything about apartments in Brandon. I would be speaking completely out of pocket and probably put you in the worst possible space. Apartments.com is the place where we always send people to. And my recommendation is once you find those places, go look at their Facebook groups because you'll hear the truth in those communities. That's a great place to go learn. Okay. All right. She says, Denise says, I need a list of all the good service companies so I have them in advance. No rush, Juan, Stacy, but I'll wait for you. Yeah, absolutely. We got you covered. We'll get them for you. Got a great plumber. We're all working on this right now. Chris is getting some filtration done. We're getting filtration done when we get back from our trip. We're doing the whole thing, Stacy. We're doing like charcoal. I don't even know. It's like some kind of ionizer. It's the whole thing. I'll tell you when
fancy water softener filtering system.
It's the softener, it's the filter, but it's also like because there's like different phases. It's a triple step. I'm not a plumber. I'm talking out of things I don't know, but it's a triple filtration system where it's supposed to bring you really, really, really clean water. And we talked about the water quality many times before on this channel, y'all. So if you're just watching this, just know that our water is not great in the state of Florida. No matter what people tell you, it ain't. It ain't good. It ain't great. It's hard on your skin. It's hard on your hair. Hard on your appliances. Yes. Hard on your plumbing lines. Hard on the glass in your showers. If you do not have a water softener, you are going to. Oh my God, it's going to chew up all that beautiful glass. I'm telling you right now, it's not a good thing. But I do have a hack, WD-40. I know that sounds like it's not a good thing, but it's the only thing I've ever found to get all that calcium that is etched into that glass off. All right, so yeah, it's a lot going on there. But Adam says, great vid with the wifey. Thank you, man. She is starting to get more comfortable. I put her on the spot, so I don't give her a whole lot of time to think about it. So shout out to Kate.
Poor Kate.
I try to get planned and prepared, but she does the numbers, right? It's like she's the COO, the CFO, the CEO of the household. Like she does all the things. She tells me how many things I have to go sell to make the reality happen, right? And she runs everything else. She even is the homeschool teacher. I'm the principal. I'm just starting to get in a teacher role, which has been pretty cool, Adam, because like I took my son last week to bid his first job. My son's 11. And we had a neighbor offer him an opportunity to come pull weeds. And I was like, she was so great. She literally ran us down as we were walking, Stacy. And she was like, there's no kids in the neighborhood anymore. I'm looking for somebody to pull with. She was so sweet. And I was like, that is super kind of you. I am not going to allow him to say yes or no right now without coming to see the scope of work and have a conversation. So we did that. And why I really did that is because I wanted him to put together, like, go look at it, put together a formal bid, talk to me about why he's charging what he is, or asking what he is, and like all those other things. And y'all, she offered him $25 an hour.
Whoa.
I know. And I was like, and I looked at him, I was like, you're not allowed to say yes right now. And I looked at her, I was like, we really appreciate that. We have to discuss this even further. So I went over there twice, right? But it was a great experience. I made him put together a bid and do the whole thing, man. And it was one of those moments I was like, I got to, like, it's finally my time. My wife has done such a good job at the basics and the blocking and tackling with the kids. And I've really, to be quite frank, y'all, like I have done very little over there. That has been her world, but now it's my time, right? Like I get to spend some time and really get into the weeds. We opened trading accounts for the kids this week. They got to execute on that. Like, it's been a blast, man. So like I'm in that mode with them, having a good time, and I look forward to that. Because for me as a father, like, the best thing I can do is teach them about finances, teach them about how to out earn what they think they're capable of doing, and then whatever they choose to do with those skills is up to them. But man, I'm looking forward to that. So, and I know this is a world that you like digging into also. So appreciate the comments, and again, I'm looking to connecting with you offline too as well. So Sassy Classy says the hard water is my only gripe with Florida, right? It's so, yeah, that's what Kate said the same. That's why I'm getting this. I'm like, do we, like, you do know we can go buy a car for what we're about to spend on all this stuff. Right? She's like, we're fixing it. I was like, okay. And that's, in all fairness, it's an investment in your health, right? The better quality water you have. So I'm here for it. All right. Last question here. Do you have the water stop? No, I don't have. This is what, same thing Chris asked me. I don't know the specifics of it, but Letitia, send us an email. I'll get you connected to my plumber. Okay. So the same guy who's doing the work there, he can explain all that stuff to you. There's different levels and different options, but I just don't want to speak about something that I don't have any expertise on. To be quite frank, Diana just got home and said hi, y'all. Hello, Diana. We're happy to have you guys. All right, it is wow, an hour and 33 minutes we've been cranking now with these lovely people here. Stacy, I know that listen, this young lady is going to take you guys as far as she can take you. I don't know that she'll be spending an hour and a half with you, but she's going to do her best. You're going to have Marsha and Stacy on. This is going to be next week, so she's going to start this process with y'all. Be kind, be courteous.
We're going to do our best. That's all we can do.
Yeah. Yep. And then the following week, we're going to be on the holiday. If you want to connect with us, if you're interested in relocating to the area or considering selling in the area, don't hesitate to reach out. All the contact information is down below. It's on the screen. The website's there. You can connect with us there. You can reach out to Stacy via Instagram, stacy.amen.realtor, juan.alcala.realtor. Happy to have that discussion with you guys. I am so grateful for this community. The fact that not only are you connecting with each other, which I think is really one of the most exciting things about this, but also, you guys knowing that we're trying to bring you as much objectivity to it as we can. Are we biased about Tampa? Yes, we wouldn't be talking about this if we weren't, right? But when when it comes to, making that home purchase, we're going to do the best for you with the tools and in everything we have access to. And just know that we're studied, we're paying attention. I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and tell you the world's going to go up forever. That's not how things work. But at the end of the day, you got to put a roof over your head. And I know one thing, when you pay 100% of rent and that all goes to somebody else's mortgage, and if it's the right time to rent, you should do it. But for every other time in your life, owning a home is one of the most valuable things you can do to invest in yourself and in your future. If you are planning on that being your primary residence and you are planning on being in that home for a long enough time horizon to see fruits. So that is the caveat that I'm going to give people on that. For other people, it's strictly about lifestyle. And that was us. I could care less. If we went bankrupt coming down to Florida and making a go of it, we were going to give it a whirl. right? And we were open to that. And I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. But there are those people, those crazies like myself, who are like, we're going, I don't care what's happening. Right. And we have been blessed and rewarded beyond our wildest imaginations with incredible people like you. So with that being said, we're going to sign off this evening. And we just want to say thanks. And any final words, Stacy?
What a night. Love the questions. I love seeing the same names come across the screen. It's just, I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Yes. And the awesome compliments. The last 2 weeks, Marcia has gotten compliments, and so have you. Thank you all. Thank you for recognizing these lovely ladies and the work that they put in. We're grateful to have them on the team as well. And as always, y'all, until next time, go out and live that Tampa life. Have a great